Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Fruitful Fridays. I'm excited to be here, and I hope you are too. It's going to be a beautiful day, and let's get it started right. So we're going to start by talking about, hey, Renita, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you here. We're going to start out by talking about how you were fruitful, and then we're going to talk about procrastination. And wow, that's huge, isn't it? Oh my gosh, it's a biggie, and I think we all go through that procrastination. So we're going to find out what we can do, why we do it, and how we can overcome that. So it's going to be a great inquiry into this. And so let's start out how you were fruitful. Good morning, and let's start out how you were fruitful this week. And let's give ourselves some credit. Give credit where credit's due. You're worth it. And what did you do that really made you feel good this week? Go ahead and put it in the comments. What did you do that you felt good about? It could be with your personal, with your business, with a family member, anything that made you feel good. Because when you give that gratitude and you give it some energy, write it down, write those things down, because boy, we often forget what we do, and we do so much. And when you do that, you're just going to get more in your life. So take that in and just feel the moment, feel that emotion about how good that really feels. All right. And so, gosh, this is the end of a decade. We're going into a brand new one in 2020. You know what? I think it's just, for me, I feel like it's time not only to finish strong, but also to clean up my act. We all have stuff, right? We all have stuff that we're working on. And so procrastination is a really, really big one. And before I get into it, I just want to say, those who don't know me, I'm Karen Treaster, and my company's Never Settle Life Coaching. So I do help people get through the garbage that they have and find clarity to move forward for confidence, for joy, and for success. And I work a lot with divorced women, and I also work with people in transition. All right, so let's get started here. Hey, Skip Kelly, nice to have you here. Hello. Let's get started. Procrastination, there are so many different reasons for this. And the thing is, you don't need to beat yourself up about it, because we do, don't we? Yeah, we do, especially when we do it a lot. And if you're really serious about it, though, you can address it and you can learn to deal with it in the best way that you can to overcome that. And so I've taken a few articles that I've looked at, and just through my own experience. And this one site is called Solving Procrastination. And what they talk about is that you rely on your self-control to bring yourself to do something, right? And so our self-control often receives the support to do something from our motivation. And often, though, we feel anxiety. Some people do. I know I do. And we could feel fear, or we could feel mental exhaustion, if we're doing this too much. And sometimes those rewards are just too far away. And so all these things are going to hinder our self-control and our motivation. So let's start out by defining procrastination. And so this was taken from Charlotte Lieberman's article. And it comes from a Latin word called procrastinare, and it means to put off until tomorrow. How does that sound? just the awareness of that, it makes you feel terrible, doesn't it? Especially if you're doing it over and over, putting something off. And then you just don't get the task done because you feel so bad and just thinking about it. And in this article, there's a professor of psychology, and she says, this is what she says: it doesn't make sense to do something that you know is going to have negative consequences. And people engage in this irrational cycle of chronic procrastination because of an inability to manage moods around a task. So it's your moods. It's not really about being lazy. And I know so many people who do beat themselves up about that. And it's not being lazy. It's about self-regulating your moods and your emotions. And so notice the emotions that when you procrastinate, what are the ones that you go through? And we're actually going to go through a list of things, and then I'm going to talk about some techniques in a few minutes. But check out, because getting over these emotions are really the first step. I mean, that's huge. And to get over these, it's about a lot of the stuff I've talked about before, about the shifting, being grateful and coming back into the moment. And I'll be going over some other things as well. But when doing something for other people, all these things that you can think about to get you back into that right state of mind. And I know in last week's video, we talked about excuses too. So if anybody missed any of those videos, I've got a lot of techniques as well, tools on there. So I'm going to go over a quick list of some reasons why we procrastinate. And so see if any of these resonate with you. Because again, once you have that awareness, by figuring out exactly why and how you're procrastinating, you can deal with it. And then you can use the techniques to come up with a concrete plan, because a lot of times it's planning for people too. And so we'll go over some of that as well. But having a concrete plan really, really helps. All right, so the first one is that gets in your way of or leads you to procrastinate is abstract goals. I had a lot of those. And you know what? You still have abstract goals sometimes, unless you really get specific and you know what you're doing. I think that was the biggest thing for me, is that I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I didn't know, what to do. And I think that's a big thing for a lot of people. If you don't know what to do, you're not going to do it. And then, of course, you beat yourself up for not doing anything. So getting clear on that is really important. Another one is rewards that are too far in the future, like I talked about, and a disconnect from our future self. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. But actually seeing yourself getting this done is huge. And feeling overwhelmed, like there's just so much. There's just so much to do. What do you do about that? Anxiety, and for me, people manage their anxiety differently. I know for me, I like to plan and get stuff done early, because if I get it done ahead of time, I feel good about myself. So that's one thing. Everybody's different. Another, you guys resonating with some of this stuff? I think I could resonate with all of it, to be honest. Task aversion, and just mean you don't like it. You don't want to do it, and really that becomes a mindset because you've told yourself so many times that you just don't like doing it. So kind of finding a way to make that a little bit more enjoyable is huge with a shift. And again, that's what I work with people to and show them how to do that. And perfectionism, that's another one. You know what? Perfection is poverty. I love that saying. So that's another one. Fear of evaluation or negative feedback. And you know what? That's very prevalent too. Fear of failure. And a few more, a perceived lack of control. So if you don't feel like you're in control, then a lot of times we don't do something. And some people have that need more than others. Sometimes it's a matter of letting go that can really help you. Another one, and this is a biggie, ADHD, or just, I mean, not everybody has that. We're not really labeled with that. I know I wasn't. However, I think that everybody's got a different level of it. I really do. We need to overwhelm too much to get done, think about it all the time, and then shut down. Okay, so I'm going to address that in a minute. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's big, huge for me too. So I'm going to address that in a second. Thank you for sharing that. So ADHD, I mean, what distracts you? Oh my gosh, there's so many different things. All right, we're going to talk about that in a second. Lack of motivation, and lack of energy. Tony Robbins, who a lot of you know, he's a motivational speaker, and he does. He talks about physiology is the fastest way to change your state. So little things like moving, which is physiology, getting up, just walking and going to get a glass of water, just getting up and doing something. Another thing is a lot of people who, because depression is a big one as well. And if you ever notice people that are depressed, they have their head, you ever notice they're kind of like this? So one of the things you can do if you find yourself kind of doing that, sit up straight with your spine straight, put your chin up, right? Raise your chin, put your shoulders back, and smile. Go ahead and try it. You feel better. You really do. And that's, Tony Robbins talks about that a lot. So just these little tiny changes are huge. Because remember, you got to get in the right mood, which is interfering with your procrastination. So the other one is sensation seeking. And so a lot of people wait till the last minute. They like that because maybe they like a challenge or they like the excitement, and they like deadlines. They like that pressure. However, I always talk to people who do that and they always say, oh, I wish I didn't do that, because it brings so much more stress when you do that. And so by noticing that, you can work with that. So here's what you can do with a few of these things. So let's talk about overwhelm. And overwhelm, the best thing is just to chunk it down. And so you've got all these things you have to do. And I know it's easier said than done. However, if you can just chunk down the action steps into little pieces, and just do what you can do today. And I always go back to that. Do what you can do today. Just take one piece of it and forget about yesterday, concentrate on today, forget about tomorrow, because it's going to give you anxiety thinking about what needs to be done today and worrying about, oh my gosh, if I don't get this done, blah, 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 blah. Take the most important things that have to be done and just do it today. Concentrate on that and reward yourself. Reward yourself when you get it done today. And when you stay focused, oh my gosh, the other day I had so much I had to do. And I was like, I was overwhelmed. And I thought, you know what? This is not good. I'm going to make this easy. I am going to pick out what I need. And I actually said to myself, I'm going to go and I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to do something fun. You know what? When you add fun to it, because so often we take that away, when you add fun, all of a sudden, everything's just easier to do. But guess what? You're in a better mood. So just a couple things to think about for, I hope that's helpful for that overwhelm. You know what? Try to put the fun into it, and really reward yourself when you get that one thing done. Because too many people try to do tomorrow's work, and it's just too much. And only do what you can do today. Set concrete deadlines or goals, and this you can do by visualizing. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And eliminate distractions. So, oh, great! I'm glad, Renita. I'm glad that helped. And setting those goals are key. So, yeah, we're going to talk about more of that. Eliminating the distractions, like we talked about. What do? Do you go on Facebook? Do you go onto podcasts, videos, games? Start cleaning around your place, just doing anything to get out of what you need to do. And those distractions, I know Facebook is huge distraction for me, and I know for a lot of people. So just really concentrate on those, and write down one thing that you're going to work on this week that you are not going to let get in your way, and gosh darn it, you're going to get that thing done. Count to 10 when you find you're procrastinating, and try to just kind of shift back into the present moment where you have to be, trying to raise your mood, and commit to working. This is working for 5 minutes. Now this is huge. I know, I've worked with a lot of clients, and this is really big, just getting something started. Here's the thing about that. If you get overwhelmed when you think, oh my God, I got to spend hours on this. Say, you know what? I'm just going to spend 5 minutes and see where it goes. Because here's the thing. When you just spend 5 minutes, your conscious mind doesn't know that you can even sometimes handle something. However, once you start something, it opens up a space in your head. It opens up ideas, new possibilities for whatever you're doing. And these thoughts come to you. And so know that just by starting something, you're going to get more information. And it's just going to be easier because you got it started. And going back to something it's a more comfortable thing because you've already done it. You've already been there. So really it's a mindset, and keeping your mood up, keeping that vibration up, avoiding perfectionism. And yes, this is huge, because I know before I did anything online, or before I did anything, working with clients, or whatever I did in previous jobs, or maybe with family members or whatever, I wanted it to be perfect. But here's the thing: it just takes confidence not to have to be perfect. And when you know you don't have to be, what a relief, because you learn as you go. You learn as you go. And okay, so these two are two of the biggest things. And visualize your future self, and visualize, focus on the end result. So let me just say that I've worked and studied under Richard Bandler, and he's one of the co-developers of NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. And let me tell you what he says. He says that take a moment and plan inside your head, make a decision about how to do something differently. And he goes on to say, and this is interesting, that procrastination is not a psychological problem. It's a matter of mental organization. And so really that's what it is. And that's what's helped me, is the mental organization. So when I get overwhelmed, when I get frustrated, and I get depressed because I'm just not doing anything, although I don't want to take the time because I think, oh my gosh, I've wasted so much time anyway, I do take the time to just sit. You can meditate. And by the way, I'm going to be talking about meditation too on our next video. By visualizing the outcome, visualizing where you're going to be when this project, when this task, whatever it is, it could be simple, could be small or large. Visualize, just close your eyes, see it already done, see how you feel. Feel that emotion about how good it makes your whole body feel, and feel gratitude for accomplishing that. Maybe you see other people in the picture. Maybe you see other people smiling, but see yourself smiling. And when you can do this, and it just takes a couple of minutes, I use this exercise a lot. Yes. Meditation, yeah, it's huge. But just try to take a couple of moments to do this, and carrying, visualizing yourself and carrying out the action, and then stepping into it. I've got an exercise that I use. Well, actually, it's Richard Bandler's from NLP, and it really works wonders with people. By really stepping into what you're seeing, and that visualization, it's huge. And again, it's raising I say vibration. It's raising the way you feel, the mood. So it's not you. It's not, you don't beat yourself up. It's just, I hope these procrastination. I love this quote. I wanted to say, procrastinating makes easy things hard and hard things harder. So when you take that to heart, take those breaks to meditate, take that time out to just visualize, take that time out to really evaluate, and to shift your mood. And I hope these have been, useful, and really, by concentrating on some of these things, you know what, you're going to find joy, and that's what life is all about. And I know I'm all about making things easier, and finding joy, and finding peace within you, finding harmony between what you're doing, whether you're, at home or at work, and with all, everything else you're trying to juggle. Harmony is huge. So I challenge you to just try this, visualizing or some of these techniques, and see how that goes. So that's it. For those who don't really know me, you can check out more on my website at Karen at neversettlelifecoaching.com. And I've got stuff on there that you can look at, programs and sessions to do, one session, up to like 3 months. So I thank you all for being here. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate that. If you like what you see, please share it with your friends, share it with other people, because I think this gets in the way of a lot of people. So I hope you all have a phenomenal day today, and make it fruitful, make your weekend awesome, and a very fruitful week next week. And I'll be back with more tips and inspiration. And like I said, I'm going to be talking about meditation. So give it a whirl, because I want to hear how you do. Just try it for like a minute. That's all. 2 minutes, maybe. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining. You guys are great. And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.